about signing this thing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We report every spill. You know, Ms. Beckman right there, you're through, but I'm just telling you that, we report every spill, so it's there for you to find. Thank you, sir.
And that is how I found out. That's good.
Why they went to war with the Union. And in that statement, they say it's about slavery and the retention of slavery and the expansion of slavery.
I'm sorry, Mr. George, your time's up. That has not come up for a vote. We don't have another meeting until January. We won't have a meeting the end of this month because of Christmas, and we have not received proper documentation to put that item on the agenda, so that's where we stand right now.
I'm just here to provide you with.
I'm sorry, that's fine. We'll read this, and your time's up.
If you have any questions, my phone number's on there, so
Okay.
feel free to call me. Thank you.
Thank you.
the people have.
Name so that we can get back to you. You have 3 minutes to speak to us, so come forward, please, state your name.
Good evening. My name is Mark George. I'm the coordinator of the Mary Turner Project. We're a race relations organization that was founded in 2007. And I'm here tonight because it's my understanding that next week you'll decide whether or not the name of 4th Street will be changed. I know there's been some debate about the origins of that name, so I've given you a couple of things. For the record, I was the person that originally researched the history of that street, as well as other streets in Valdosta. One of the things I gave you was a list of the names of the streets that we identified in our organization that were named after slaveholders or Confederate veterans. So I know that I haven't been here to address this. My research was done, for the record, I'm a professional sociologist. I have a PhD. I used to teach at the issue. The research was done at the Historical Society. And since I did it, it's my understanding that the documents have kind of been misplaced. I also hear that there's kind of a rumor about whether it was named after an African-American man named Albert Forrest. And I think the evidence just totally disproves that. And some of that evidence is the fact that up until the 1930s, the Ku Klux Klan was very active in Lowndes County. In fact, they were organized in 1993, still recruiting members. There was a long legacy of lynching in the region. Segregation wasn't addressed until the 1970s. Sonny Martin of the Lowndes County school system fought against the desegregation of schools, so the jail in New Bern. The Lowndes County system lost over $300,000 of federal funding, and that revenue being gone is what really motivated them to desegregate. And in fact, Valdosta City Schools only got out of a consent decree a few years ago that the Department of Justice had them under to fully desegregate. So the idea that Valdosta was progressive and named this street after an African-American man is just kind of a fantasy in all frankness. And when we look at the evidence of our community, the other thing I gave you, because when you start trying to talk about these things, and I've done extensive research on this, I've done a documentary film on it, there's all these myths about why the South left the Civil War. So the other thing I gave you was Georgia's own secession statement. So when I drive around and I see these streets, and I see the monument that was put on the courthouse lawn 40 years after the Civil War was ended, that was all a byproduct of retelling why the South went to war and seceded from the Union. So what you have before you is Georgia's official statement about why they left the Union, why they went to war with the Union. And in that statement, they say it's about slavery and the retention of slavery and the expansion of slavery.
I'm sorry, Mr. George, your time's up. That has not come up for a vote. We don't have another meeting until January. We won't have a meeting the end of this month because of Christmas, and we have not received proper documentation. Put that item on the agenda, so that's where we stand right now.
I'm just here to provide you with.
I'm sorry, that's fine. We'll read this, and your time's up.
If you have any questions, my phone number's on there. So
Okay.
Feel free to call me. Thank you.
Thank you. Is it?
Why they went to war with the Union. And in that statement, they say it's about slavery and the retention of slavery and the expansion of slavery.
I'm sorry, Mr. George, your time's up. That has not come up for a vote. We don't have another meeting until January. We won't have a meeting the end of this month because of Christmas, and we have not received proper documentation. Put that item on the agenda, so that's where we stand right now.
I'm just here to provide you with.
I'm sorry, that's fine. We'll read this, and your time's up.
If you have any questions, my phone number's on there. So
Okay.
Feel free to call me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Why they went to war with the Union. And in that statement, they say it's about slavery and the retention of slavery and the expansion of slavery.
I'm sorry, Mr. George, your time's up. That has not come up for a vote. We don't have another meeting until January. We won't have a meeting the end of this month because of Christmas, and we have not received proper documentation. Put that item on the agenda, so that's where we stand right now.
I'm just here to provide you with.
I'm sorry, that's fine, we'll read this and, your time's up.
If you have any questions, my phone number's on there, so
Okay.
feel free to call me. Thank you.
Thank you. Is anyone else in the audience that would like to come forward and speak? Anyone who would like to come forward and speak?
I'd let George speak first. I'm John Porterman. I live in the county, 6565 Porterman Road, but I do get my mail in the city at the UPS store on, up there on north edge of town. So I want to get some of y'all out the boat eventually. And we have an outing coming up February 2nd from Troopville Boat Ramp down to US 84. It's going to be a nice day on the river. I hope some of you will join us. I'll send you the invitation. And this coming summer, June, starting June 14th, 300 of our closest friends, which we hope will include you, will be boating from Troopville Boat Ramp, not just to US 84, but all the way to the Swanee. They're going to turn right all the way down to Bradford. 5 days on the river. And don't worry, you don't have to lug in here. They do that. They cart you out there in buses. They carry you back. They got places to stay. They cater the meals. So maybe you'd like that. Yeah. And I'd like to commend Utility Director Darrell Muse for all the recent work for improving the water system in addition to what you've already done. We have seen there is still room for improvement. The specific thing I would like to mention is there's always an interesting time finding out what happened. And it doesn't have to be like that. A good way to simplify this, and I'm not just talking about Valdosta, I don't know if you're aware, Lowndes County had a spill, so did Quitman. Most people don't know that because neither of them announced that to the public. The way I know is I asked the Georgia Environmental Protection Division. After many, many months, I finally found somebody. I asked her. She sends me the whole list of the whole state. Okay? They've got that list in a spreadsheet. They could just publish it online. I don't know why I have to do that. They could do it just as easily. Florida already does that. Alabama already does that. And both Florida and Alabama, you can sign up for email alerts. So when there's a spill, you get email, so you know. This would avoid this whole rigmarole of every time trying to find out who spilled, when, how much, how many locations. And 27 organizations in Georgia and Florida have already signed onto a resolution to that effect. This is just one sheet of the signatures. I'm hoping that the city of Valdosta will entertain also signing on to it. There is some progress on it already. Georgia EPD Director Dick Dunn says it's an interesting idea. They're looking into it. And I also hear from the people who actually compose that spreadsheet that yes, they're considering it. But until I see these reports appearing daily on the Georgia EPD website, I'm still going to be asking for signatures. And I bet EPD would listen to the city of Valdosta a lot more than they listen to me. So I hope you'll think about signing this thing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We report every spill. Just Beckman right there. You're through, but I'm just telling you that we report every spill, so it's there for you to find. Thank you, sir.
And that is how I found out. That's good. I hope you'll think about signing this thing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We report every spill. Just Beckman right there. You're through, but I'm just telling you that we report every spill, so it's there for you to find. Thank you, sir.
And that is how I found out. That's good. I hope you'll think about signing this thing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We report every spill. Just Beckman right there. You're through, but I'm just telling you that we report every spill, so it's there for you to find. Thank you, sir.
And that is how I found out. That's good.
All right. Are there any other anyone else who would like to come forward and speak?
George Buster Ryan, 5004 Oak Drive, Valdosta, Georgia. I personally thank George for coming forth because he did a lot of research when there was controversy concerning the renaming of Barbara Park. The Valdosta Daily Times, we know, actually published lies, and we see the same trend developing concerning the renaming of Forest Street. The archaeological record must be maintained, because if it's not, generations to come will be lost. And that is why we have a Bible, because somebody maintained the record. I maintain the record because I have documented the young man at Antioch Church. We have always had black people in opposition to black people and what was best for black people. We had blacks that stood against themselves being free. So we are used to that. But I would like to say that the Barber Park, all that documented, major portions of it was in the Lake Park Post. Many of you may have forgotten it. The Valdosta Daily Times did an extremely sorry job of publishing what took place, but I got it documented. I got it better documented than CNN, or 60 Minutes or 48 Hours. And so it will be with Forest Street. I have also given you all, I mentioned to you, you Google the renaming of streets in honor of President Barack Obama. You will see cities across this nation giving that honor to the first black man. My grandparents died and never got the opportunity to even vote for a black president. And so I want to leave this with you. If it is not renamed, it's not really a problem, in my humble opinion, because we know that greater mayors, greater councilmen will come forth regardless of what the ordinance say today, and they will change it. Some people thought that black people would never be able to sit in a restaurant, never be a police officer, never be in the Congress or the Senate or local governments. But by the grace of God, truth prevailed. And tomorrow, truth will prevail again. And so I'm asking you all, regardless of what your ordinance is, ordinances can be changed if you really want to do it. Hollywood, Florida, Google it and see what they did. Not blacks. Black and white came together. Because when it comes down to what is just and right, skin color serves no purpose in the eyes of my God.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience who would like to speak?
Good evening. I'm John Robinson, 3027 Sandy Green Circle, Lake Park. I commend Mr. George Foster Lyons and Mr. George Mark George for the statements that they made pertaining to the issues they are speaking on. But I'm here to talk about economic redemption that we need here in this city. We're working with the banks. We've been working with banks for the last several months, trying to get something accomplished that we can get the banks to come together to help the small businesses thrive down in our city. And we're asking that you guys put a little bit more emphasis on the VSAP program, and we're going to be trying to work with contractors to get them to comply with the program and join back up with the program and see if we bring things together. We need some money to circulate through our community. That's the major problem that we have. It's millions of dollars that come through this city, and we have been deprived from that money because of the situations that we present, because contractors can't get the financial stability that they need. And sometimes the programs that's implemented don't need to be revised to the point they can be broken down to a simpler basis and simpler terms. We just here to ask that everybody see they can comply with something that can contribute to making a better economy for us here in our city, and we can try to live a better. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else who would like to speak? Anyone else who would like to come forward and speak? Come forward and state your name.
Yes, my name is Charles Robert Judge Sr., and I was going to comment on something totally different. A local businessman that all you guys do business with, the city, the hospitals, the VSU, and everything attacked and assaulted me. And I've tried to get something done about it. Former Police Chief Childress got me in front of a judge a few months ago to present my case, and she will not rule on it. The guy attacked me without cause, without provocation. There were several witnesses people who came forward, worked for him, then or still do, and they testified against him in my behalf. Get into the details, but I'll be glad to. I have all the stuff downstairs I'll be willing to show you. His name's Ron Corbett, runs the boardwalk, and this case is in civil court and criminal court. The criminal thing is 18 CW 00462, Charles Robert Judge versus Ron Corbett and the boardwalk, and the civil case is CD 16-1589. Same thing, Charles Robert Judge versus Ron Corbett. The guy, as it came out in the civil stuff, has done this several times before. And he's trying to make a racial issue out of it as a reason for assaulting me. I am not a racist, and a lot of people here, a lot of folks know it. I go to a church that's predominantly black, and been going home 40 since it never happened. And I know that you guys can't do anything about the court, but I would like to let you know where you're spending your money and what kind of person it's going to. And that's probably all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else who would like to come forward and speak?
Good evening. My name is Mr. Jasper Norwood, Serenity Church here in Valdosta, Georgia, under the pastorship of Bishop G.B.R. Williams. I'm speaking on behalf of the People's Tribunal and the Change of Forestry. I headed the petition, and I'm very thorough individual. But what I find is a travesty to me is that when one puts so much emphasis on trying to dispel something, it gets my attention. And when I find that in life that the truth doesn't need explaining, whenever someone puts so much attention on trying to dispel something, that's where I find the issues at. You know, and we are in total compliance with the ordinances required for the petitions, and everything's in line. And to get the results back that I got, it was just, it was unbelievable to me. Unbelievable to me. But I really, really want to have concern about this city being 51% black, of African descent. We're not asking for anything. You know, we're just asking, we're not actually give us anything, but we're asking what we require. And that's what we require, the change in that name from a Ku Klux Klansman, a Confederate soldier, to Barack Obama Boulevard. The truth is going to prevail, always. That's the ways of God.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Anyone else who would like to come forward and speak? All right. In that case, Mark, you want to give us your report?
Greetings. This is the Get To Free Press, and I'm George Boss the Rise, a social media guy. And as you know, my motto is we report what others ignore. Today is Tuesday, October the 16th, 2018. I have been waiting for the mainstream news media in South Georgia to report about a Valdosta police officer being arrested for DUI. We've been waiting for the Valdosta Daily Times and the local TV stations to publish that DUI, but it just didn't happen. And so, believe me, I received an anonymous phone call from someone in the police department who want Valdosta to move forward and not backwards. I chose to wait and see. So tomorrow will be over a month. And so I figured now is the time for me to publish about this DUI. And that's what this video is about. It is to let the people at Moody Air Force Base, Georgia Military College, Wild Adventures Theme Park, Wiregrass Technical College, Valdosta State University, and other locations understand. I've been saying it for a long time that there is something seriously wrong here in the state of Georgia, as well as here in the United States of America. Sit back, watch, and check your local news media network out and see if this was ever published to you, the general public, under the founding fathers of this great republic, which says that we should have freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and a right to vote and to hold public office in the land of the free and the home of the brave. Once again, sit back, relax, and enjoy. I only do this because you who are serving at Moody Air Force Base, Camp Lejeune, Offutt Air Force Base, Nebraska, you need to know why you serve in your country. And do you have a freedom of the press? And is it why you really are serving in the armed forces to protect our rights, while somebody feel it necessary to only have a free press, possibly for those in the clique and among the slicks? Listen, please. Greetings. This is the Get To Free Press, and I'm George Valdosta Rise in Valdosta, Georgia. Today is October the 16th, 2018. I'm standing in front of the Georgia State Patrol office, not by accident, but because I was called anonymously about an issue that the Valdosta Daily Times and the local South Georgia news media networks, in my opinion, have already published to you, the general public. And when I was called about this incident, there's a police officer from the Valdosta City Police Department that was picked up for DUI and failure to maintain lanes. And when I was called about this incident, there's a police officer from the Valdosta City Police Department that was picked up for DUI and failure to maintain lanes. I just want to bring that to your attention, and I want you to understand, first of all, that I thank the anonymous person that called me about this DUI that dealt with a Valdosta police officer. And I'm sure that the Valdosta Daily Times and the local TV stations have already published this. I was just late getting it, and I want to thank the anonymous person that called me about it, and his concerns was that why this was not news. I said to him, it has already been published because we are Metro City, and the people that publish the news want the general public informed. And so I asked him to go back and check the news media outlets and the newspapers, because I was 100% certain that this information has already been published to the citizens in Valdosta, Lowndes County, and the state of Georgia. I also would like to commend the Georgia State Patrol Post for following the letter of the law, not hiding it, not covering it up, not taking the individual home, because they would not have taken you home. And so I want to commend the trooper for doing what is right. And I'm sorry that this happened. I do believe that we all should be careful on the roadway to protect the lives of other human beings as well as animals. Once again, this is the Get To Free Press. I do this because I love you, the people of Valdosta, Lowndes County, the state of Georgia, and the United States of America. And I served this country for over 20 years. And I do believe in freedom of the press, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the right to vote, the right to hold public office without impediments, without being intimidated, suppressed, and removed from office once you are elected if you are Black American. And we know this is happening under Secretary of State Brian P. Kemp, as it was with Equipment 10+2, Meg's Mayor Linda Harris, Camilla Mayor Rufus Davis, Lumpkin Mayor Charles Davis, Douglas Mayor Christopher Wright, who was shot 6 times, and many other areas in the state of Georgia that the news media will not connect the dots. And so this is why you must use your cameras, and when you are called anonymously, not as a member of the press, but as a common citizen, when you see it, report it. They tell you, when you see something, say something. Well, this trooper saw something and he took action. And this is what it's all about under our form of government. Once again, this is not fake news, and I want to thank the anonymous caller, the both of them that called me, and I went, I checked, and whoop, there it is. St. John 8:32 says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set and make you free. Now I'm asking you to go back, get your copy of the Valdosta Daily Times, and read about this DUI that took place, not this month, but according to what I have in my hand, September the 16th, 2018. Peace be unto you. Bye-bye. Be gone.
Why they went to war with the Union. And in that statement, they say it's about slavery and the retention of slavery and the expansion of slavery.
Sorry, Mr. George, your time's up. That has not come up for vote. We don't have another meeting until January. We won't have a meeting the end of this month because of Christmas, and we have not received proper documentation to put that item on the agenda, so that's where we stand right now.
I'm just here to provide you with.
I'm sorry, that's fine. We'll read this, and your time's up.
If you have any questions, my phone number's on there. So
Okay.
feel free to call me. Thank you.
Thank you.